Hello everyone, and welcome to my bold and beautiful official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Do Beth's 5 words seal Liam's romantic win and change Hope's heart? According to spoilers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Beth Spencer might have 5 words that will win Hope Logan over. Let's discuss what might happen because Hope's daughter might say something that will ultimately guarantee Liam Spencer's romantic victory. Beth has already acknowledged that she enjoys spending time with Liam and Hope as a family. Despite Beth's admiration for Carter Walton, he is clearly unable to match Liam as one of her role models. Beth will always want Liam around since he is her hero. At some point, Beth might give Hope a strong pushback toward Liam because it's obvious that she wouldn't mind having her parents together. Naturally, Hope is unable to get back together with Liam simply because Beth would prefer it. This must also be about Hope and her desires, so B&B might capitalize on that by asking Beth to observe. In the end, Beth might make a point that causes Hope to recognize that maybe her daughter is correct. Those 5 words, "You were happiest with Daddy," are what Beth may say to Hope. Although Hope's romance with Carter is acceptable to Beth, she can counter that he doesn't make her mother feel as good as Liam did. Beth might help Hope remember that love and yearn for the time spent with Liam, because Hope and Liam truly had something unique. When Liam starts giving long lectures, Hope already finds it difficult to resist her affections for him. Although Hope isn't yet ready to commit to him again, Liam still thinks he's the one for her and that she's his type. If Beth puts more pressure on Hope and helps her realize which man actually makes her happy, that might change. Since Liam is the one who stands to gain romantically, Beth might be able to help her father achieve that. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter will have to update his love perspective and deal with some tough news regarding Hope. When Remy Prince first appeared, he was Elektra's companion. She was unaware that he was deep-faking her and stalking her. She figured he was charming and apparently harmless. But Remy was becoming more and more fixated on Elektra. When he found out about her developing a romantic relationship with Will, he became unhappy. When Remy sent nude deepfakes of Elektra to Forrester Creations via email, he almost got her fired. He did it out of spite and retaliation. If he couldn't have Elektra, then nobody else could, Remy reasoned. Fortunately, he was caught and taken to the police. Remy returned to Los Angeles a few months later, this time with a new life. Although he recently met Luna, he has not adopted her crazy behaviors. Harrison Cohn, an actor, will play Deke for the first time. Deke, whom Luna believes to be Remy's roommate, will be introduced to her. Remy will eventually come clean to Luna about his involvement with a man. He has found who he is and who he is destined to be with, despite his past with Elektra. It will be fascinating to find out about their past. Additionally, Luna is becoming increasingly fixated with Will. Perhaps Remy might help her see the light. We want to know Remy's thoughts on this matter. His viewpoint could be able to save him and benefit Luna. I'm hoping he'll counsel Luna to find herself and to receive the support she needs. She is constantly in a desperate search for someone, be it a romantic partner or her biological father. Meet Bill and Katie's chase, Remy versus Luna and Deke. There will be spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Fans might anticipate confusion between Deke and Remy Price in tomorrow's episode. Lee Finnegan's response is violent. In addition, Luna Nozawa is pursued by Bill Spencer and Katie Logan. Thomas Forrester must also be restrained by Rich Forrester. Let's discuss what will happen in the upcoming episode of the CBS soap opera. As you continue reading, Thomas will continue to lash out at Brooke Logan Forrester, so let's start with him. The designer was shocked to see the ring on Brooke's finger. In addition to breaking Taylor Hayes' heart, Ridge and Brooke were married on the same day. Thomas holds Brooke responsible for all of his mother's suffering. Taylor defended herself by telling Thomas that Ridge made this choice and that Brooke wasn't to blame. However, the young man seems to believe that the blonde is the cause of all the problems in his family. Thomas will grab Brooke and yell at her as soon as Ridge enters the Forrester Creations dressing room. Naturally, Ridge acts quickly to try to stop Thomas. He will attempt to soothe Thomas once. He is in the middle of the 2 antagonistic characters. But it appears that Thomas is committed to seeing that Brooke makes the payment. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Deke makes his first appearance. He is a budding fashion designer who either works at Forrester Creations now or will soon. Deke and Remy appear to be in a romantic relationship, and they will both be skeptical of Luna's assertions. Luna will beg them to let her stay, but they will obviously say no. Remy's partner will undoubtedly tell Luna no if he is unable to. When Lee eventually makes it back to the apartment, it is crowded. Luna will have to confront Will Spencer, which will put her in a tight spot. Bill Spencer and Katie Logan. Lee has an intense reaction when Katie claims that Luna abused her son. Lee does put Luna in a chokehold, but the young woman will live. She makes some unexpected allies later in the week. What is the plot thread you are most excited to follow? Is Liam's family pitch successful and Carter's dream of marriage hope in jeopardy? According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter Walton thinks he's finally getting close to the finish line. Hope Logan seems interested in marrying him, which would undo all of his recent romantic disasters. The claim that Carter has never been married is so extreme that viewers must suspend disbelief. But after all these years, St. Victor's character ends up there. Hope is in her early middle years just like Carter. By daylight standards, she has 5 marriages, which is more than normal. Liam Spencer has recorded 3 nuptial ceremonies, including the most recent one, so Carter might be her 6th marriage. She was legally married to Thomas Forrester, who had recently arrived from Europe, but she also wed his brother Wyatt Spencer. Hope was harmed by Thomas's departure from Los Angeles, California. Despite being a member of his family, she had no intention of getting married again. After Caroline Spencer passed away, viewers remember that she became close to Thomas's son, Douglas Forrester, and was regarded as his second mother. When Thomas departed town and ever since, the Liam loop has not been in place. However, the presumed tumor worry and Luna Nozawa's near-fatal attempt to kill him made Hope emphasize Liam's significance in her life. They also have a daughter together, Beth Spencer. Quinn Fuller was Carter's presumed love interest. Although she appeared to be his fate, she wasn't. That plot was unique because it sprang to life fast, was intense, and then vanished like rains on a sweltering summer afternoon on the grounds of the Forrester creations. Her character's dismissal was prompted by Sofer's departure from the cast. The legend of the story was enhanced by the additional twist of getting her husband's blessing. However, why did Quinn leave the show without bidding Carter farewell on screen? That unrestricted option meant she might come back at some point and resume their relationship or even consummate it by getting married to him. Rich Forrester, Carter's closest buddy, is well aware of how high Carter's heartbroken hills are. He advised Carter not to marry Hope right away for this reason. Rich does not wish for Carter to suffer harm. Instead, to use a cliché that fits this version of California, he convinced him to let this growing attachment unfold more naturally. Naturally, Ridge just impulsively got married again to Hope's mother, Brooke Logan, but that's a tale for another day. However, that comparison highlights how little Carter and Hope's history is in comparison to one of B&B's most illustrious couples. Regardless of Carter's motives, Hope wants to restart that loop because Liam was his destiny, and Noel's character is aware that this choice has resurfaced. Brooke stole Ridge from Taylor, and Thomas was furious about it. He ignored his mother's advice not to place the responsibility on Brooke. Brooke was cornered in her workplace by Thomas, who then attacked her. She was the seductress who tore their family apart, and he held her responsible. One may argue that Ridge is to fault for this catastrophe. Hours later, he married Brooke and broke up with Taylor. Thomas needed to save the majority of his rage for his dad. However, Thomas couldn't stop thinking about Brooke. He was only able to hold her accountable for the suffering and harm she had inflicted on his family. But since Ridge's children are grown adults, they are capable of handling the reality. As he spoke to Brooke, Thomas became absorbed in his thoughts. He kept talking about how she was to blame for his unhappiness. We're starting to notice that Thomas hasn't been performing well recently. However, we are aware of the reality once more. He is incorrect because it was he who resigned from his role as Forrester Creations' chief designer. He was also the one who called off his Paris engagement. Brooke was an easy target for Thomas, who needed to find someone to blame even though he had no one else to blame. At last, something attracted his attention and stopped him in his tracks. On Brooke's wedding finger, he saw a diamond band. Thomas understood that there was nothing he could do to stop his father and Brooke from getting married. With a bang, Thomas grabbed Brooke and almost shook her. Fortunately, Ridge arrived at the office just in time to remove him from his wife. Ridge and Brooke aren't wasting any time now that they are back together. The couple is eager to begin their future together, after getting married in a hastily arranged office wedding. Ridge and his beloved Logan must return home as the first step. However, Hope, Brooke's daughter, will put the couple's marital bliss to the test. Hope and Ridge still have love for one another. There have been problems between the two. However, during Hope and Carter's takeover, things really got out of control. Ridge would never forgive or forget Hope's betrayal, even though the Forresters were reunited. Hope, on the other hand, will never forget the rudeness Ridge has showed her, including calling her a bitch. Hope and Ridge's tension will always exist, but it will intensify now that Ridge is back at home. Hope may decide it's time for a change after Ridge returns to the Logan Manor. Hope has been residing in the cabin on her mother's land for the last few years. Fans may finally get their wish after longing for her to move away. After Ridge and Brooke's most recent reunion, Hope will realize it's time to go. But Brooke will be furious about Hope's plans to move out. She doesn't want Hope and Beth to leave because she enjoys having them here. However, Hope will not share a home with someone who treats her and her mother disrespectfully on a regular basis.